Oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
It's cracking.
Oh, column A, column B. It's already been a big week of racing.
Hasn't it? 1,000 guineas yesterday.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, I guess. Because, people could be listening to this at any time.
Yeah. Specifically the 13th of October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2021, if we want to be that specific, at around 4 p.m.
Yeah. If you ever want to come back and listen to this podcast in the future, which will obviously prove our tipping prowess. Jeez, I've been listening to these guys for 5 years. They're now the biggest horse racing podcast in the world. I wonder if they were still this good at picking winners all the way back in 2021 for Caulfield Cup and Everest week.
We weren't.
Yeah. Newsflash, we weren't. But, yeah, rewatched that race and it was just a gross race.
It was. I don't know. I went against my rule, the afterthought rule.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel comfortable with it. And I wasn't a fan of Zuzarella from the gate, and that proved to be correct.
Yep.
And I just thought the Sydney form might be a bit better. But I'm annoyed that I didn't have a really in-depth look of the other Melbourne form, because Yearning had a massive run last start. And at the $26, who did have a sneaky saver on it?
Josh McClellan.
He did.
Of course he did.
He texted me after. He's like, I was weighing up between that thing and Hinged. I'm like, of course you were.
Of course he was.
I swear he just does it every single time.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Can pick something at long odds, Josh McClellan's. Look, I'll come out and say, obviously, that Zuzarella had no luck in the run whatsoever. Wherever she goes, I'm still happy to back her. Complete forgive run for mine. She's still lightly raced. She's just a little young filly.
She is. She's got plenty of upside, that's for sure.
She sure does. But, look, that's just small fry stuff. We're looking at big fry stuff this week.
Aren't we? Before we get into that, are the 3-year-olds any good? I don't think they're any good.
I think there's one who's exceptional, maybe two.
Artorias as a 4-year-old will be elite.
Yeah, the party bus.
Yeah, if he gets that far.
What's his distance, you reckon?
I reckon against his own age, I reckon a mile's fine. I reckon against the older horses, I reckon he'll be like a 1,400 metre, 1,200 metre horse.
Yeah, I think he'll come back a lot smarter as a 4-year-old if they want to do that. The thing with him is he just needs to get some professionalism, and Big Mo has that in spades.
Yeah, and I just look at this crop. I just think they're average, which is a complete 180 from our first podcast of the season, because we were like, oh my goodness, how good are these 3-year-olds? You have Converge, you have Halal, you have Animo, obviously, Ingratiating, Artorias.
Stay inside.
Forgot about
Captivant.
him. He was, all right, Captivant. He ran second?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was it him?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Construct. Another one that failed.
Here's some constructive criticism for the 3-year-olds. Give us the reins. Let us train them in the future.
You know what? I reckon Captivant is actually, if you like Animo in the Cox Plate, you have to like him, because he's heading there. And he's about $20 or $30, and he'll be 49 kilos as well. So I reckon, yeah.
Well, Drifters, you probably saw in the paper today that there are some New South Wales-based jockeys who will be making the trek down for the Cox Plate. Probably headlining that is J-Mac on Zaki. I think Huey Bowman's taking Moanga. And K-Mac. I don't know if he's coming down for the Cox Plate or if he's coming down for the Melbourne Cup.
If he came for the Cox Plate, he has a relationship with the Snowdens.
Sure does.
Who has Captivant, I believe. So
can K-Mac get that low?
I think he gets pretty low.
Who are you to judge how low K-Mac can get?
You know, well, he's that close to the floor anyway.
Actually, do you know who can get low? Like Flow Rider.
Yendel.
Yeah, Dean Yendel can. Rachel King, and she's apparently got all the paperwork signed to be able to come down. She's got nothing locked in Melbourne, but she's obviously a lightly weighted jockey, so maybe she could get the call up for the Cox Play. She's been in pretty good nick.
Yeah. Yeah. I think K-Mac could get that low. I think he rides like the lightweights in an Epsom. Like,
well, what was he on Probably last year?
50?
51, maybe?
Yeah. He might ride a kilo over.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ollie's riding... Well, mate, when's the last time you saw Ollie ride... What is he, 52 or 53?
It's been a very long time. I actually was reading about that this week. Been a long time since he's had to get low.
He got low. He's getting real low.
He's getting so low. Mate, why don't we just call K-Mac or text him? We're mates, aren't we?
Well, yeah. Well, I'm personal friends with Red Zell, so by association, I'm great mates with K-Mac.
Mate, K-Mac, more like bloody Everest Mac.
Mate.
Three from 4 thus far. Just a sneaky 75% strike rate.
And then you have Bossy. He's got the other one. And then he's got a Golden Eagle in his other pocket as well. And then you have the bloke, I don't even know who rode Colette last year.
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
It was like some country jockey for Godolphin.
Mm.
Couldn't tell you who that was.
Do you know what was stupid? Her price last year.
It was.
In the swamp.
In the swamp. And she might get a swamp at Caulfield this weekend.
She might do.
But before we get to this weekend of racing, mate, how about the Red Cliff Dolphins?
Oh, mate.
Welcome.
FKA, formerly known as. Well, now they're just the Dolphins. They've dropped the location from their title. They just want to be known as the Dolphins because they don't want to alienate, 1, anyone from Brizzy, 2, anyone from the sunny coast, and 3, anyone from that Moreton Bay / Red Cliff region.
No, they have a year to rectify that. They'll be fine. They'll be the Red Cliff Dolphins, 100%.
You reckon?
100%.
Just Red Cliff? I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, well, you got what? South. That's just what? South Sydney. And then what? Who? All right, what's a good example of
Cronulla.
this? Cronulla. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. I agree. Little bit different because the NRL, when the NRL sort of was set up off the from the ashes of the Super League war, they obviously looked at all the teams that were playing across the ARL and the Super League, and they were like, okay, cool, we're going to create the NRL, which teams are in, and it's like, cool, there's the NRL teams. So they already came with a location, and also obviously stems back to the New South Wales Rugby League and that coming through. So it is a little bit different, but I completely agree. Like Red Cliff Dolphins, mate, if it wasn't for the Penrith Panthers, would you have heard of Penrith before?
Bathurst, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because that's that general area in the west, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mountains.
Yep. Who else? Well, Cronulla because of the rights.
Canterbury.
Canterbury.
Yeah. Parramatta.
Yeah.
Well.
Melbourne Storm. I wouldn't have heard of Melbourne.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, welcome. That'll be Red Cliff, surely. That it makes no sense to rip up like that branding.
I think they should just stick with Red Cliff.
They will. 100%.
You know, Uncle Wayne Bennett, Gramps, getting the call up, strapping on the boots again.
Yeah, he could probably go to like say a West Tigers or a Cronulla for a year, be like the head of football, and just turn the place around, and then go to Red Cliff.
He could do that. I think what's probably more likely is that he'll just take a gig at Red Cliff,
100%,
and just be like, "Give me a year to clean this place out and
play the pokes."
Yeah, get me familiar with my surroundings.
What's the tab set up in this joint?
Yeah,
is it facing the right way,
mate? It could. You know, their tab setup could very well be an influencer on them being my official second team. Actually, probably my third team because the Storm are probably my second team. But
third team, it's an interesting chat.
I could support 3 teams comfortably.
Sure, when you know the Storm miss finals in 20 years' time.
Yeah,
and the Dragons, you know, perhaps just slip out of the 8 again.
Oh, they were this close. This close, the bloody Dragons. Well, I wonder what Red Cliff's going to do with their colours because they play in red and white.
It would just be alternate strips.
Imagine if the NRL's like, St. George, you haven't been playing that great. You guys change.
Or the away team just plays in skins.
Yeah, lids off.
Yeah.
Lids off versus lids.
Paint the 7 on the back.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be good. That'd be good. I love that. Get back to the roots. Mate, let's quickly look back at last weekend as well. So how good and how much ticker did Jai McNeil show on the ride on I'm Thunderstruck? Oh,
enormous. The aerial view. He saw a gap, he took it and kicked. Yeah, that was a huge run. Tefane was tough.
She had great ticker. Back to mare's grade in the Empire Rose if she's heading that way. Be very hard to beat against her own sex. But she had the perfect run.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you couldn't want a better run than her. And I'm Thunderstruck. Lots of bums in front of him, but he pushed through those bums, got low, pushed through the bums, and then he just got out, got clear, lightweight, bang, thanks for coming.
100%. And frustrating because, Elephant loomed like he was going to do something but pulled up.
Well, from barrier 5, he was 3 wide. It's like,
what are you doing?
Frosty, I can't win. Apparently you're going great. I can't catch him.
No.
Damien Lane?
No, I can't catch him at all.
No.
I feel like in the Group 1s, he hasn't been doing much.
No.
Didn't handle Very Elegant very well the other week, might I add.
Frosty. But how good was that aerial vision on Channel 7?
Yeah, huge ticker showed by Jai McNeil to sort of get through. If you're looking for a display of ticker.
Well, 100%. But you know what else is catching my eye on the broadcast at Channel 7? Is in between races when they might do a little market update. You know, he's doing his best work in a fresh Ralphie each week.
Oh, how good is his fresh Ralphie? I love the black Ralphie.
Yeah.
So shout out to Finchy.
Brett Finch.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Pretty sure Finch was named after Finchy, the horse.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. On pace, big brute of a guy. Unlike Finchy himself.
Yeah.
Ironic.
It was an ironic name.
Yeah. But, on speed, tried his heart out every single time. Didn't necessarily get the results all the time. But when he did, you got rewarded for it.
Exactly. A colourful career. Plenty of stories to tell.
Yeah.
Finchy's been doing a great job.
Loved by all.
Yep.
Or by most.
By most. A journeyman.
Yep.
Played for a few different clubs.
Yep.
Para. Melbourne.
Yes.
The Roosters.
Yes.
Anyone else?
He started at the Raiders.
Did he start at the Raiders,
Yep.
Finchy? The Milk.
Mate, he played there for like 80 games.
Wow.
He started there when he was 17.
Did he?
Yeah. Well, mate, anyone who plays in Canberra has to have huge ticker because
mate,
that place
freeze your nips clean off.
Oh God, I went there in May once. Coldest I've ever been.
That's dumb footy from you.
It was May. It wasn't even winter.
Such low percentage footy.
Can't do it.
Yeah. He has been doing some great work, Finchy, and there's some great banter going on between Mr. McLaughlin and Finchy. Bruce as well, Bruce McAvaney.
Well, Bruce on the satellites doing some of his finest work.
Mm.
And I do like Hamish too.
I like Hamish.
Hamish is a good guy.
Yeah, but no one beats Richo.
Didn't appreciate his call actually in the Bulldogs-Lions semi-final this year. Bit one-eyed towards the Dogs, which I didn't appreciate. But, you'll learn from it.
Oh, I'm sure he's listening, and it's just constructive feedback, mate. But look, our constructive feedback for Finchy is keep doing what you're doing, mate. And if you keep going well, maybe you'll get an invite on the pod.
You just might, Finchy. What a guy. All right, that's enough dribble, I believe. So you have a time-honoured Group 1 this weekend in the Caulfield Cup.
You do.
And then you have the new kid on the block, the Everest.
Mm.
What race are you more excited for?
I'm more excited for the Everest, mate. Personally.
Take that.
Yeah. Controversial. Mate. You would say the best sprinters in Australia, clearly. I'd say the Caulfield Cup.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the Kosciuszko was pretty good.
Yeah. I thought the Myers Stakes the other night was pretty good. yeah, just it's over quickly.
Yeah.
Some big heavyweights just going at each other.
Yeah.
Short-lived, but I tell you what, you put a price tag against an event like that, and of course it's going to work. Who said the Everest wasn't going to?
Idiots, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Because crowds are allowed this weekend. And what they've done, I think I said this last year, they put armbands around everyone, and that's how you order your drinks, and people get more pissed at the Everest. They get the ages of everyone, and it's a younger demographic coming through. PVL knows what he's doing.
Genius. Genius. And look, I think this race will just go from strength to strength. It's going to have probably already had a massive influence on breeding within the country with Yes, Yes, Yes winning it as a 3-year-old.
Well, I don't know. How much longer is the Coolmore going to be the stallion-making race?
Well, mate, fillies are winning it more often because I tell you what, if Home Affairs wins this, don't think he's going to bother going to the Coolmore, whereas in previous years, sure, of course I'll go to the straight down to Melbourne on Derby Day.
Against my own age.
Of course I will. Watch me lead and win.
Yeah.
Watch me just be on pace, stalk, then win.
Yeah. Look back, poke my tongue out, still win.
Yeah. What's that? I'm going to be a busy boy for the next 20 years?
Sounds great.
Yeah. Sign me up. Sign me up. I don't know why I just thought of that. What if Home Affairs wasn't that way inclined? What if he won the Coolmore and they're like, mate, to the breeding barn for you. You're going to be a busy boy. You're going to enjoy it. He's like, you know what?
No.
That's not how I'm inclined.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what happened to Kementari.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a dud at stud and then they had to cut off his nuts.
Yeah.
And now he's winning listed races.
Now he's the butt of all jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Everest. I'm really excited, mate. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great. We're 17 minutes in. We haven't done what we want to do is a runner by runner. So let's get cracking in here.
Yeah, let's go.
Because there's plenty of footy. Let's start with the Everest. I believe you wanted the odds.
I want the odds because the Enigma himself is number one, Nature Strip.
$3.90 now.
$3.90. Interesting. Look, I reckon we'll be playing on a soft 6 at the absolute best.
Well, I opened up news.com just before, and apparently there's a tornado on the coast of Sydney.
Is Wild Ruler going to run that fast?
Tornado. So, and I was thinking back. I'm like, what are those things up in, that have terrorized like Darwin and Townsville? They're cyclones. I believe tornadoes are much more savage. So
yeah, right.
So, but I had a look at the radar and I think it actually missed. So,
okay.
I don't know. I'm looking for a soft 7.
Yeah.
Soft 7-ish.
You want something that handles a bit of mud.
Yeah.
So Nature Strip does that. So I'm not surprised he's coming in. Draws barrier 10. J-Mac on board. Third shot at the Everest. I think he sits up on pace. I think he'll let Eduardo kick forward and do whatever he wants. Go absolutely nuts. Just sit off it. I think he'll be right in the finish, Nature Strip. The only thing is, we've seen him fail in this race before because there is so much pressure early on and he just hasn't been able to absorb it. I think he's a smarter horse this time round. I think he's been taught how to take a bit of a seat. $3.90. I think that's about right for Nature Strip in this, especially on a heavier deck. I think he is a winning chance for sure.
100%. Third up here, I'm going to do the last few third up runs. First in a TJ Smith by 2 lengths. 7th in the Everest last year where they went mad. First in the TJ in the autumn before. And 4th in the Everest the year before that. And he was outstanding.
He was.
In that race because that was the first time where he actually ticked the 1,200 metre box for mine. So he's run the game in my numbers. Last year's winner, classic legend.
Isn't he gorgeous?
What a guy.
Just gorgeous.
Yeah, and so I saw some pictures of him as a young pup during the week, and he was a grey chestnut, I guess.
Yeah, well, usually it takes them a little while to actually turn grey, which is weird.
Well, the older they get, the greyer they get.
Yeah, there you go. So last year he had probably a bronzy type sheen underneath his coat. He was gorgeous last year.
Oh yeah,
more grey now.
Well, the year before that, he was more of a what would you call that? like a lead pencil color.
Like a steel.
Yeah, like a steel. Anyway, he's had one run since the Everest last year, and that was when they took him over to Hong Kong, and he finished near the end, but he was near favourite in that race. He had a bleed, so I've heard during the week if horses have had a bleed, what the trainers typically want to do is they can come back really well after a bleed, but they are at risk at bleeding again after that first run. So ideally they would have taken him second up, but they've got a few more trials in him and he's gotten better each trial. They just want to have a throw at the stumps first up. Hopefully he's over all the bleediness that he's had and hopefully he can go back to back. Soft, not a query for mine. Remember, he had one run in the winter last year and they all came the grandstand side and he drew out and he demolished that field. That was a soft 7 on the day. He demolished them on heavy ground. So I don't think it's an issue.
I don't think so either.
He's in the game.
I think so too. The query is obviously first race in a long time. That's the only query because he's the reigning champ, loves a heavy deck.
Yep.
He's a grey horse.
Showing more intention in each trial.
He's ready. He'll be ready to go.
Yep.
Les Bridge doesn't muck around.
No.
Eduardo.
Not our guy.
Not our guy. Eduardo Scissorlegs. Look, from barrier 7, he'll charge forward. He's been in cracking form ever since he's been with Joe Pride. Got over the top of Nature Strip in the shorts.
Not the first time.
Not the first time. That's over 1,100 metres, which I think's Eduardo's go. I think the 1,200 is not his prime distance, but he'll love the heavy deck. He'll have it all his own way in front, you would think, with some pressure. I just think they'll be too good for him and run over the top of him. $6 is too short for mine.
I agree. Elite 1,100 metre horse gets found out at the 1,200, in my opinion.
In my opinion.
Number 4 is Guitra. I believe he finished 3rd in this race last year.
He did, because I backed him.
Draws barrier 1, which I wasn't stoked about when I saw it for this horse. Jason Cled in the saddle. Look, honest as the day is long.
Yeah.
He'll
run. He'll give you a run.
He would, at Group 1 level, he'd have to be right up there with the most consistent horse in Australia, I reckon. Like for the sprinting brigade, he doesn't race that often. He's fairly lightly raced, but he's only missed the top 3 twice.
Yeah.
Enough said.
25 starts, bang.
1,200 metres, I don't think he's suited at that elite level. There's a couple that are much stronger late, but I think if he can get a nice sit in the race from barrier 1, that kind of offsets it a little bit. Yeah, I think we were potting him last year at the 1,300 in the yes, and he won that easily.
He brained him.
And that was on a heavy deck that day.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine through the going. He's in the game, not in my top 4.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Look, how's this for a little veteran? Number 5 trekking.
What a guy.
Mate, what a guy. You know you're going to get a race from this guy. Wants it good, though, and he's not going to get that trekking.
Unfortunately not.
4th in this last year, ran a cracking race, 3rd the year before. As honest as they come, I'm glad he's in here because he deserves to be in the race, but I think he'll drop out of the top 4 this year.
Yeah, climbing all over him in the Moore Stakes. Not suited here. Number 6, Masked Crusader. Any danger of this guy getting out of the gates?
Mate, call Artorias the party bus. At least he's left the station. Masked Crusader's still sleeping in.
I know. He's one of the... He misses the alarm each morning. You know, slow out of the gates, gets into work 5 minutes after. Afternoon, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah, one of those operators. But gee whiz, once he's in the office...
Once he's had a bit of caffeine...
Holy smokes. Doesn't he get through some work?
He sure does.
His win the other day in the Premier Stakes, I believe, was it Golden Rose Day? Might not have been 2 weeks ago. No, it wouldn't have
Turnbull.
been. Wouldn't have been. But it was a bit leaderish that day, and he was outstanding. Outstanding. Was nowhere at the 300. Tommy Berry weaved his way through the field. Brilliant win. He has the brilliance to be elite here. He gets too far back for mine.
Too far back. Who did he charge down or run over the top of? Stand out and Embracer. No thanks.
Yep.
Wild Ruler, my guy. Awesome run in the Maya last start, but he had the run of the race.
Yeah.
Look, he's unbeaten over 1,200 at Randwick, but he wants a nice, just rock hard deck.
He wants to feel his bones, this horse.
He does. Look, he's still got his nuts, Wild Ruler. So I hope this isn't his only shot at the Everest. I have a feeling that it might be because he's ticked off that Group 1 box. But nah, not this weekend.
No. My guy, the Inferno. Lovely, lovely work last start. Apparently this horse is an absolute nutcase.
Oh, really?
The trainer called him cantankerous during the week.
Oh, wow.
So apparently I saw some footage of him today. He was having a good look around Randwick, seeing what this place was all about. But when a jock gets on him, then he settles down and he's like game face on. But apparently if he's by himself, he's on his toes just going like, do you want a biff, bruh?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No wonder why they call him the Inferno.
So, yeah, he's got a bit of fire in the belly, this horse. Look, his record speaks for itself. Trainer did say he did want the 1,200 last start, and he was over the 1,000. Gets that here. Kind of ticked that soft box 2 starts ago where he was brilliant running over Portland Sky. In my opinion, he's the best roughie in the race. $26.
Yep. Not a bad shout, mate. Do you know what's not the best roughie in the race? Embracer. Look,
who's taking $67 here?
Oh, not me. You've got a feel for
James Harron?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Sorry, mate.
Harron? Was it him?
He had Rothfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Robbie Heathcote?
No.
Yeah, the Harron slot.
Yeah, the Harron slot. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it's him. Anyway.
We're experts. We promise. Look that up, Jamie. Nah, I don't want the Embracer here. You got a feel for Big Rothy not being in the race. I think he deserves to be.
James Kennedy.
Yeah.
Jeez,
we were close.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like I know what his name is, and it just left my brain.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Nah, no thanks.
Yeah, well said. Same can be said for Lost and Running for mine. Was brilliant in the autumn, hasn't come up in the spring.
Agreed. Libertini.
Oh,
She'll be first up here. She's had some setbacks. Got a soft spot for this girl, but no, I don't think she features here.
She needs the track dry. She's not going to get it. Here we go. Here's a runner. The only 3-year-old in the race. Home Affairs. Look, I haven't found this guy because I'm of the opinion if there's 1, maybe 2 elite 3-year-olds, I don't have this guy in there. But I could be wrong.
Could be.
I know you're a fan of this horse.
I am.
Chris Waller, Glenn Boss, it stinks of yes to me.
It does. And yes, leading into the Everest, which he won, he ran behind big old Biv over 1,400 metres, the Golden Rose. So I don't think anyone was expecting him to come back and win this. He was a similar price, similar profile, Coolmore, as you know. Paul Ailey's Frank the Form. Did Paul Ailey beat some superstars? No, but still came out and won.
Yeah.
I think Home Affairs was ridden pretty quietly last start towards the end and still absolutely blitzed him. Absolutely killing him in trials. Apparently he's come back enormous.
Big
Home
boy.
Affairs. Big. So if anything, he's probably a similar size to the older horses, but gets the weight swing. I've said it on this podcast before, I don't look at weights too much over 1,200 metres, but when this race is going to be absolutely rapid up front, I think weight comes into it a bit. He's $11. I'd consider that a roughie price. For me, he's the best roughie in the race by far. He's a winning chance.
Cool. In a word, Kamintari, no. Signore Fox, no. All right, I'll do these. Stand out and chat. No.
Hey, wait a second. If there's a scratching.
Won't happen. Maybe Libertini if she's not right, and then Special K gets a run. Could
Imagine
you imagine? Imagine if you won.
I think the mugs would have to give it away.
I think so. I think that'd be shut down forever. All right, give me your trifecta, please.
Tossing up between Nature Strip and Home Affairs. I really am, guys. Rock, hard place. It was similar last week. I got it wrong more often than I got it right. Gut says Nature Strip wins this though, but gee whiz, there was a big omen today with Home Affairs. If you scroll through Instagram, go on, I think it's Sky Racing or 7 Horse Racing, one of them, and it was like, screenshot this post, that's your Everest winner. Mine came up Home Affairs, and I liked him before that happened. So I think Home Affairs can sit just behind him and just charge home. It's got one of those. I've got a gut feel about him, but I think Nature Strip will be awfully hard to beat. For me, running into third place, Classic Legend. Been there, done that.
Yep.
So that's my trifecta.
Easy. Classic Legend on top for me. Handles all going. He'll sit midfield. That's the best thing about this horse. He can sit midfield, and then he still has probably the best turn of foot in the race.
Unleash.
Probably Must Crusade a little bit better. So I think he goes back to back. Said that in one of our spring headlines thing from ages ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice for the pod.
So, for the story and storyline of the podcast alone, have to stay with him. Nature Strip in second, I think he's going to run over late. The Inferno is going to run nicely into third.
Geez, that'd be big for the Inferno because still so lightly raced, he could back up in this for another 2 years.
And that trainer's just come back from Singapore. People would be like, oh, do you want to train some of me horses?
Good on you.
All right. Half an hour in, we still have the Caulfield Cup to get through. So let's crack on. I'll kick it off. Handicap 2,400 metres. You have Homesman at the top. He's the toppy of the field this year. 55.5 kilos, and the bottom weight is giving away 50. So it's only giving 5.5 away, so it's not that big of a weight swing. Homesman, last time he raced at this distance was when he ran second in the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, that wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going near as well now. And I don't know, funny prep for mine. He kind of turned that race upside down at the 800 in the Might and Power last weekend. Don't mind the horses on the quick backup. I just think there's better horses in the race for mine. Because it could be, at Caulfield, could be absolutely bottomless.
Yeah, could be Titanic has sunk at Caulfield. So that's how wet it is.
Soft 6 at the moment. I think they could get up to another 60 mil.
Mate, imagine if it's canned.
Yeah, hopefully not. And the rail's back in the true. So is the inside going to be off? That could bring the outside barriers. That could be the best draw.
Could be. The barrier was out 9 metres yesterday, though, for 1,000 Guineas Day.
It was.
So do you reckon, now that it's true, 4 or 5 metres out's where you want to be?
There could still be some wear and tear. That's what I'm saying.
We're not experts.
No, we're not there walking the track. Don't even know what track walkers do.
No.
Who's number 2?
Shout out to Willow.
Who's number 2 in the market?
The big eye. The favourite. Incentivised. The Toowoomba boy. My guy. Draws the car park. Do you know what? The more I think about it, the more I'm happy with that because I'm going to get a better price for him than I would have gotten.
Yeah.
Because he's open at 2s. He's out to 260 with Ladbrokes. Mate, not a drama. He cruises across, lands himself with some cover in the top 4 or 5. No issues. I think he wins this. I think he wins it by lengths. It's just a matter of how many lengths. Last start over the Turnbull, 2,000 metres. He led the entire way from the soft barrier draw. Young Werder came out. The way the sort of race panned out, all the leaders were failing by the sort of back end of the straight, and Incentivised just kept going. Then the back markers came because the race was run at a pretty good pace, like Young Werder and Chapada, and he just accelerated again when they came at him. Unbelievable. He'll relish the 2,400 metres. Peter Moody said he looks better and has come out of that race better. Yeah, barrier 20, while it's a bit of a kick in the nuts. Not a big deal for mine. I think he wins this easy, Incentivised.
I think he's in the game. Explosive Jack, he had a terrific Melbourne Cup trial last start in the Turnbull. Too short for mine. Too short in price and in distance. I think there's better roughies in the race.
Yeah. Not a bad shout, mate. The Chosen One, racing well. Finished third in this last year, second at Delphi last start. I think he wants a drier deck. He's not going to get that here, the poor Chosen One, but he's going well.
The stable think he loves it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which his form might not suggest, but he is flying, this horse.
Well, there you go.
So I think he's in the game. Ocean Billy. So I believe this horse was the Auckland Cup winner. Apparently loves it rock hard. Look, Auckland Cup form, I'm not that familiar with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I believe this horse is a 2-miler and he's not going to get that here. So no thanks.
There you go. Number 6, Celino. My pick for the Melbourne Cup Drifters, if you weren't already aware. I'm sure it's pretty obvious by now. He's another one where he's had 8 starts in the wet for only a second and a third, but stable says he loves the wet weather. Tell you what, barrier 17 is a bit of a kick in the nuts, but this is too short for him. Melbourne Cup's his ultimate goal. So just keep an eye on him, see if he finishes strongly. And that's all you want from Celino.
Yeah, okay. Persan, one of the better roughies in the race for me. I think he will be suited better to the Melbourne Cup trip, as a lot of these will be. I think he's going better than his form might suggest. He was super first up, gets third up here. I think ultimate aim is the Melbourne Cup. So, quick thinker.
He's someone who loves a bottomless.
He is possibly the best wet tracker in this race.
He is. So he'll get an easy lead from that barrier. $61 with Ladbrokes at the moment. He's worth a throw at the stumps each way, I think, quick thinker. Put him into your exotics because he loves it wet and we know he loves his trip. So quick thinker is worth an each way bet.
Yep. Chapada. 9th in the Caulfield Cup last year. 52 kegs on the back. He needs it rock hard as well. $67. No, thank you.
Delphi. Awesome last start.
Brilliant last start.
Awesome. Kicked away as well, which is what you want to see. Gets a heavy dick. Look, still has his nuts, so maybe he does have a heavy dick.
He's staying low.
Yeah, it's a heavy dick. That you'll get this weekend. Heavy deck's a bit of a query for mine for Delphi. If he was the second favourite in the race before the barrier draws barrier 19. Mm-hmm. Look, I still think it runs a cracking race, Delphi. Ollie wants to get down to 52.5 kegs for the first time in a long time, maybe 2 or 3 years. So he clearly thinks highly of this horse. I think it'll either trail incentivise or be just in front of incentivise. So I think it'll get every chance. I think it runs well.
Yep, 100%. Master of Wine. Now, the price is gone on this horse. Was $40 after the barrier draw. This horse is the second best wet tracker in the race.
Mm.
Well, it's a bit unknown with Incentivise. Apparently, he loves it. He's a duck.
Yeah.
But apparently this horse loves it as well. And you know what? He could be back.
He could be back after running third last start, Master of Wine. He's not one of mine.
No, he's not. But I think he might want the 2 mile, but I'm going to have something small on him in this race and put him in my exotics because he gets down to a featherweight here, and I know he'll get through the ground. And if it's a heavy 10, can't say that again about a lot of these. So I think he is an absolute must for your exotics.
Yeah, there you go. Montefilia broke my heart last start, beating home in Tonte in the Metropolitan. She was great. She really was. She ticked off the 2,400 metre box, which was a little bit of a query. I think she'll enjoy that barrier. I think she'll enjoy the heavy deck. $16, I think she's not a bad shout. I think she'll run well.
Cool. Port Gulame, if that is indeed your name. Bit of a spruik about this horse. French, I believe. Look, not going to lie to you again. Don't know a lot about this horse. $91 is his quote.
Take that information and do what you want with it.
His last win was 61 weeks ago.
There you go. She's Ideal, number 14. She loves it a bit wet. Bit of a funny girl, this prep. She ran a slashing third over 1,400 metres in the Wink Stakes, then a seventh, and then she won the Kingston Town Stakes over 2,000 metres on a soft 7, and then finished off ninth in the Metropolitan. So she's hit and miss, but I think for $34 is a price that you can find out with. She draws really well in barrier 5, but she'll go back anyway, so she'll need a bit of luck. I think 2,400 metres will be fine for She's Ideal. I think she's not a bad shout in this race.
Yep. Young Werter, look, went half a length to incentivise in the Turnbull last start. Gets out to a distance which is cherry ripe. He's only won once from 10. That is the query, but he has been placing in Group 1s. Now, he is racing against his own age in those Group 1s, but, you know, I think he's come back a much better horse.
He has, yeah. He's from his 3-year-old season to his 4-year-old season. Apparently, he's just filled out a lot, balanced out a lot. So I think he's a different horse this prep. I agree. The 2,400 metres will be cherry right for him.
I tried to, because Danny O'Brien was on our RSN today, and I just wanted him to say, back this horse in the Melbourne Cup. That's all I wanted him to say, and he didn't say it. Because I'm sure he's going there and I'm sure he'll stay. It's just I wanted him to just go around without me on this week because he was clearly the flashing light that in the Turnbull. I just think he might have a bit of a flatty here, but he has to go into your numbers as well.
Nonconformist. Gee whiz, within a whisker of getting a Group 1 in the Might and Power last start. Quick backup, which I like. Was awesome in the start before that. Beating Delphi, which has since been franked. A little bit of a query on a heavy deck for Nonconformist. I think barrier 16 is okay, though. Willow on board's a tick. He's in good form at the moment, except for that ride on Zaki. I think Nonconformist runs well.
Query at the distance for one, but he does drop 7.5 kilos.
Stack of weight.
Jewess, whatever her name is. Coonji winner during the week. She was brilliant.
She was good.
She was great.
Swims. A little each way bet on her.
Swims too.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
You know, if you listen during the week, myself and Lloydie of Mugs Punting fame said that this horse was the best roughie in the race and the $34 is gone. Yep. Vanished. It was between your fingers.
Actually halved.
Yeah, literally halved. $17 now. But another one that's going to go into my ever-growing trifecta.
Yes, about 50 horses.
Yeah. So she's in the game. Barrier 3. If the fence isn't off, yeah, she can definitely be right around the money. Charm Star, no thanks. Yeah, no. And Great House, no thank you. Who's this bottom horse?
Oh, do you know what I'd never do? I'd never pot it in public.
No. You know, I was listening to some other horse racing podcasts during the week, and I feel like we were quite kind on the horse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said this thing's going to win a hurdle maiden. Shout out to the racing show.
Can we do a first 4 for this race? Because it's so big.
Yeah, we can. You go first.
All right, Big Eye, obviously on top. I think Nonconformist runs a cracking race, but I'm going to have Young Werder in a second. Nonconformist, third. Quick Thinker. He'll run a cracking race at that price. Chuck him in your exotics. Now.
I have thought long and hard about this, and the more I thought about it, the more I think Incentivise wins.
Of course he does.
So I have Incentivise on top. I do think, because I think the other thing about Delphi, I think he actually might be targeting the Melbourne Cup. So this might not be his grand final. I think he'll run fantastic. I think Mustard Wine is going to give this a shake. I have a sneaking suspicion.
If he comes home and wins, I think I'll cry myself to sleep.
Just chuck him. He was my Caulfield Cup pick last year.
That's right.
And he was about second favourite at $6. You're getting 26 now. Yeah, he's in there. I have Delphi in the money, and I also have the Chosen One.
Fair enough.
Well, so we're 44 minutes in, and we still need to give our Drifter of the Week a little bell. So let's get cracking on to that. Right Bryce, you got us, bruh?
Oh no.
Technical difficulty.
Bryce, we can't hear you, bruh. You there?
Oh, sorry, gotcha. How you doing,
Yeah,
mate?
there we go. So, okay. Bryce, welcome to the podcast, mate. Thank you for jumping on.
Thanks very much for having me, guys. Much appreciated, and I do love the content. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for listening, mate. You're one of the OGs. You were listening to season 1, which is unbelievable. But, mate, I'm tipping that badly at the moment that we need a professional in. So what Bryce does better than anyone, he gives out some tips on his service. Mate, tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, cheers. So, it's been a little bit now. I guess it's probably two years or so, and I guess just every day I send out the write-ups and get cracking on form a few days early. I kind of love to get the early prices in. I'll try and target a couple of days earlier and find most things get really slashed in price. Some get stung with deductions, but I think that's sort of the thing we aim for at Investors Bet. I just love to get an early price on something that's probably been put up too much, and then wake up in the morning, you'll see it 2/3 what it was, and that's what I like to see. Definitely adds the confidence when you go into a day and you see something's been smacked in the market. So, yeah, that's sort of what I look for, fellas.
We love value, Bryce. So Investors Bet.
Investors Bet. One of the great tipping services of all time. Join them up on their Instagram. You can get in contact with Bryce there and he'll sort you out. But, Bryce, mate, there's some... Do you love the Everest or the Caulfield Cup? Are you a Caulfield Cup guy or an Everest guy?
To be honest, fellas, I'm very interested in the Cosy this year. I do have a lot going on it, so I'm massively on Cosy. And probably for me, yeah, the Everest. I'm really keen.
Beautiful. Well, let's start with the Everest, mate. Who is your on top selection and why?
Ripper race. I'm a little bit worried about the weather because initially I thought if it's dry enough, I trust Les Bridge. Classique Legend's best. I'm very, very weary. He doesn't want the wet. Classique doesn't want the wet. So I just thought off the run, fellas, Guitra, just at the odds, I couldn't see how it was so far apart. Obviously a little bit of pocket talk. I was on that day and it wasn't a great watch. But geez, it's definitely riding at a good price. I mean, I do think if it's dry enough, I'll be pretty keen on the Classique. But at the moment, each way Guitra is very hard to knock. If something's going to blow them out of the water, I think the Inferno's done nothing wrong. Its record at the distance is impeccable. The one knock was when it was just ridden not how it needed to be. It could come running over the top of them. So I think Guitra each way is the tip for me, guys.
Absolutely. No, I think he's right in the game there, mate. And did you say you had one in the Kosciuszko as well?
It's got to be my best bet, fellas. A little bit of a backstory to it. I messaged Nicky Lloyd from Mugs Hunting, and funnily enough, we actually lived in the same apartment block, and we were mates for about a year, and we had no idea. So we lived in the exact same apartment block until I passed him one day in the pool, and I went, Lloydie, what are you doing in the pool, mate? And he popped up and said, I just live here as well. And I'm like, oh, righto.
I'm glad he said he lived there and that he wasn't just jumping in the pool for no reason.
Yeah, just chilling in the pool. I'm like, all right. And I messaged him a few months ago and I said, mate, $2.50, Tamworth maiden. Have a look at this footage. Tell me what you think. And he got back to me straight away. And he was probably at work as well, but he got back to me straight away and he said, oh, Lord. And I said, yeah, mate, that is going to be hard to beat. And they scratched it. They backed it off the map. And then first up, Edit was phenomenal. That win and was just from the clouds. And the trainer says he's going to improve length. I think Huey Bowman, he'll be sitting up the back. If they're running on straight down the middle of the track, I don't see how they're going to beat it. I think Edit looks a freak to me, fellas. I reckon that is a phenomenal bet at the 5.
Beautiful. Well, that's a fantastic case you've made. So we have nothing else to add to that. We'd love to see it. All righty, mate. What about the lesser Group 1? Everest isn't even a Group 1. It should be.
Group 1, yeah.
What about the Caulfield Cup, mate? Are you with Incentivise?
My heart's with it. and it's done my bank well. I mean, I'm a Queenslander now, so there's plenty of reasons I want to be with it. But I've always been a big fan of non-conformist. I just thought it was given an absolute peach 2 runs ago, but gee, it's going all right for $12. Barrier 16. A lot of this, I think, is just luck in running, isn't it? You've got a stacked field. I think it's going to be really messily run, but non-conformist at the odds, I think that's a great go. That being said, Preble could just roll across, and as soon as Incentivise finds the front, I think if it finds it easily enough, it's probably race over, isn't it?
Agreed. But non-conformist on the quick backup, well, I think he's right in the game. Alrighty, mate. What about your value plays? So we'll get into your best bets of the day. So your value play of the day?
Value play, I'm really keen to take on the shorty race 4 Caulfield. I do concede it's got plenty of upside. But look, you're getting $2 to the Kapalua Sunset when, bear in mind, there's 2 runners in this field, Glint of Hope and Mokalua. Now, Glint of Hope's last run was 3rd behind the 2 that ran the Quinella on Wednesday in the group race.
Oh, God, yeah.
We're looking in the same direction.
That kind of form, that yearning, Elusive Express. And then Mokalua was in the same race, caught wide, but you go 3 runs back on Mokalua and it's lost ahead to Profondo, which is one of Group 1. So you've got 2 horses in here with like Group 1 form against something coming up from Maiden that does look a star, and you can get $10 for 2 of those as opposed to the $2. I reckon you could play both of them each way. I think that's a really nice go.
If we flipped a coin and we had to put one in, would it be Glint of Hope or Makula?
I think Glint of Hope, it did beat Makula home, which was unlucky, but I think Glint of Hope is on the up. It's only had a few starts, and that form reads so well, doesn't it, with those 2 running with Vanilla on Wednesday?
Yep, absolutely. Deep impact filly. Love to see it. How about each way, bruh?
Shiloh Lass is flying, fellas. It is flying. And it first up, I watched the trials and I thought, gee, this is going to come back and run an absolute storm. Gave it a good plug. Pretty keen. Filmed the trial, spoke through it, and then came out and it was a crap. It was horrible. And so I popped it in the forget file. Next start, I think it was $30. Just absolutely blitzed them. And I thought, righto, had a look at the report, pulled up with some issues. Next run, I'll give this another go, $34 at the Valley. It just sat behind the speed and when asked, see you later, won by a length and a half easily. Markets go up again, $61. And then I had a look today and they've had a go. I think it's into 23s, but when you find something looking for 3 in a row and they've both been very dominant wins, I'm just wondering, its form might not be the strongest in here, but sometimes you just overlook that picket fence, come back in hindsight and go, geez, why not go with the thing that's just flying? And on the up, and good to see it hammered in the markets. I reckon Shiloh Lass can win again.
So just for those punters at home, mate, what race and what number?
So it'll be race 8 Caulfield. I'll have to have a check on the number, but yeah, it's race 8 Caulfield.
Yeah, number 19 down the bottom. So at the moment, she needs one more scratching to get in the field, but on the heavy ground, I'd imagine she probably will.
Yeah, that's it. And Daniel Moore's 2 for 2. It opened 61s, but it's 26 right now. And when it first opened, I think it was paying, from memory, I think $16 to run a drum, which is pretty good odds for something shooting for 3 straight. And those wins have been pretty much eased to the line. So I'm keen to see how it measures up.
Yeah. Again, it's a great case. And your best of the day?
I think Edit is, if they can run on and the track's playing okay, and Bowman, and no disrespect, love the jock, but some of his rides lately have been late. And I've been on a few of them and I've gone, yep, that was late. If he times it well, I don't think they'll beat Edit. I reckon this thing looks a freak. It'll measure up in some stakes races. That first up run, if it's going to improve a few lengths, as the trainer said, my housemate turned it off and pretty much said no hope at the bend. He said, no good, mate. And it ended up winning by 2 lengths almost. And when it actually got focused and hit the line, I looked at that and I went, I don't know how they're going to beat that in the Cosy Osco. Huge respect to Sunrise Ruby and Handle the Truth. Obviously, he's got the class. But, geez, Ed, it's going to be hard to beat, I reckon, guys. It can rattle down the inside, or the outside, sorry. I don't know how they beat it.
Lovely. Love to hear it. Alrighty. Thanks for coming on, mate. It's Bryce from Investors Bet. Give him a follow on Instagram. They do a fantastic job, as you can clearly hear there. Very in depth and knows his shit. So thanks, brah. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Bryce.
Much appreciated, fellas. I probably won't get something as big as Yonkers with the value bet, but and that was ridiculous. I remember being at Woolies and I just had a thing in the back of my head that went, I'm pretty sure on the truth said Yonkers. I'll put a 5 on.
Oh,
And yeah, that was nice.
you love to see it.
Oh, Mackenzie, another one for you, brah. How good. Alrighty. Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much, guys.
See ya.
Hooroo. What a lovely young man.
Oh, we only invite the best on. So thanks, Bryce.
Okay. Bruh, if you're going to have a bet this weekend, you need to do it responsibly. Now, if gambling is an issue for you, you need to call this number. Write it down if it is an issue. 1800 858 858, the gambling help hotline. You can also go to their website if you need any resources there. But our Juicy Stakes segment, your value play of the day, DJ.
Mate, race 10, Caulfield, the number 1 top weight, swats that. She's $21 with laddies at the moment. Forget about her last ride. There is a stack of speed in this race, provided by the likes of Enthar, provided by the likes of Jigsaw. Malkovich will go forward. I think Swat Saddle stalk them, peel out, and kick home. I really do. Don't worry about the weight. It's 1,000 metres. She'll be fine. She's a Group 1 placed filly multiple times. She's run third behind Nature Strip over 1,000 metres at Flemington. I think 21 is a stupid price for Swats that.
Yes. You know who I think is a stupid price in that race? This is my value play, but I think chuck this into a Quinella. I am 100% doing this. The second top weight, Free of Debt. This horse is flying in
Absolutely
Adelaide.
flying.
It's won 3 or 4 in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And it's $31.
Yeah.
And you know what they say about 1,000-metre races? You need 1,000-metre horses.
Ah, you do.
He's one of them.
Yep. Gets Artorius's party bus driver, Brett Preble. The jock,
Well,
he's in great form.
That's what I was... Mate, come on. What are you talking about? I nearly made him my value play of the day, but I didn't because I have one in the Cosy that Bryce actually talked about. I have number 14, Sunrise Ruby. Here we go. Bossy in the saddle. Mitchy Beers, the trainer.
Oh, you love to see it.
One of the great trainers of all time from Albury. So basically, I'm going off his word here, and I've had a look at the replays. Loving what I'm seeing. So she has had 4 runs this prep. She's won 3 of them. Finished second. I reckon that was just a tune-up, that last one. Hasn't raced since August, but she does fantastic work fresh. And she had a track gallop on Saturday, and he couldn't contain his excitement on Twitter. And he was like, this thing is absolutely flying. So $15.
To find out.
She's a good play. Barrier 4, Bossy in the saddle. Thanks for coming.
You love to see it. And good to see that Mitchell Beers made a career after 1 test match.
But he also, Bossy locked in this ride a while ago.
Did he?
So, yeah, first time he went on it, he's like, mate, we'll sort it out. Do you want to ride this thing in the Cosy? He's like, yeah, gotcha. It's got a chance. So that's enough for me.
Yeah, trust Bossy. Mate, Bryce absolutely nailed it. My HY play of the day is in race 4, number 6, Glyn of Hope. $9.50 with Ladbrokes. That'll get crunched in. Form behind Yearning and Elusive Express, who just ran 1-2 in Group 1,000 guineas literally yesterday. She's a filly on the up. She's a deep impact filly, which I know you like.
I love that.
So she'll make the trip easy.
Yep. No, I had a look at her. Just found that race a bit confusing. A few too many unknown form lines. And I'm off the 3-year-olds. I'm off them completely.
Fair.
What's mine? I'm in race 7. taking on Colette here. Colette is a $3 favourite, $2.90 now. Crikey. This horse was supposed to run the Caulfield Cup on the weekend. Had some setbacks. What she got on the feet? She's got an Equicast first time. Her foot is not right. Blinkers off, which suggests that this is just a tune-up run. I'm happy to take her on at the 290. You know who's flying? Nimmerly is flying. This horse from Matt Smith, Fierce Impacts trainer, is bringing this thing down.
Fair enough.
She's been really, really impressive. She does get her toe in. She goes another yard if it is a soft deck. So I think she'll race on speed. Ollie on the back. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, big watch for me, that race. No betting because I'm really keen to see how Shiloh goes measuring up against Colette because I've got a soft spot for that horse. But, mate, yeah, Nimmerly is flying, so good bet. My best of the day is Big Eye. I am very confident he wins the Caulfield Cup.
There you go. My best bet of the day is in race 8 at Caulfield, number 2, Vada, at the 550 on offer. Frosty Lane in the saddle, so it's a love-hate relationship here, but my goodness, this horse is flying as well. Loves the heavy ground, drawn preferably. I think it's a sit and steer job. 1,000 metres was a bit too short last start. Gets to her ultimate distance here at the 1,100. She'll be mighty hard to beat.
Yeah, she'll be mighty hard to beat, but she'll be just behind my girl, Ruby Saki. Nah, yeah, that's a no bet race for me.
I've heard she's had a bit of a flat tyre in her trials.
Oh God, yeah.
Ruby Saki, unfortunately.
Oh well.
But I've also heard that this guy who loves trials, Glenn Ingram, he has a Twitter handle at the Trial Files, says she's flying.
Wow.
But then these other people said she's got a flat tyre. She's no good.
Oh, I think Ruby, my girl, is one of those mares who, when she's had enough of racing, she's just had enough.
Well, her last prep wasn't that horrible. She was Group 1 placed.
Yeah.
In the Goodwood, was it? Or the other one?
Oh, I can't remember.
Whatever that other one is. Remember. The Tab Classic, of course. Yeah, that one. But yeah. I don't have my phone on me because it's filming, but I believe the tipping comp this week for Ladbrokes is leaning towards Caulfield.
Look, I'm happy with that because it's the punters tipping comp and they can do what they like. What I would say is the Everest is a special
event.
event.
Well, do we just include it as a leg? Maybe we include the Everest and the Kosciuszko.
That's a great shout.
So it's 12 races you have to cover punters?
Yeah.
Look.
Screw them. What have they done for us recently?
You set the numbers.
Yeah.
You set the expectation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. And I think it's only fair.
Yeah. I'm with you, mate. Looking forward to the weekend.
I think this is one of our longest yet. So yeah. I think let's wrap this up.
Yep. Best of luck, drifters, on the weekend. Gamble responsibly. Go the Big Eye.
Hooroo.